Whoa, we're back for some Bleach Soul Resonance. It's gonna be a little bit of a yap session day where I'm just going to talk about some things. You know, we've recently been collecting some opinions on the game's current state, and while I think that a little bit of the doom and gloom right about now is sort of to be expected, but also not entirely... It's not entirely founded, but it's not entirely without reason either. I mean, obviously there are things we can look at that point us to why people are feeling a little sour. When it comes to IP Gacha, it's one of those things where, ooh, look at that parry. It's one of those things where people are going to sort of bounce off after getting super excited to sort of see their favorite characters, you know, represented in any sort of meaningful way, right? But we do have a stream upcoming. It should be on the 17th, so about 2 days after this is actually recorded, right? Or 3 days after this is recorded, 2 days after this is uploaded, should be going up on the 15th. And it, you know, I'm excited, as it always goes when it comes to getting any sort of big stream coming. I feel like regardless of how people might feel as the contents are going on, as we're sort of having these low periods, as we're sort of hoping, you know, we approach the half ante with some hype building. I mean, those streams always sort of deliver. I mean, outside of the very, very first one, man, I'm getting mopped up here. Outside of the very, very first one where there were some hiccups, and you could tell that either they weren't ready or Shueisha was cock blocking them and they couldn't stream in the manner that they would prefer. Whatever the case may be, it led to, you know, the streams thereafter being fairly high quality in terms of information release. I mean, this is where we've been getting updates on character reworks, on character buffs, on, you know, the upcoming characters. We got the roadmap that was essentially, hey, here are the next like 4 characters. So I do wonder if a part of the sort of, oh, look at that parry. If a part of the deal they have with Shueisha involves them having to sort of fork over that information in advance, right? Like having to, you know, just say, we can't keep it close to our chest. We can't just hold on to it. We have to announce it in advance, and then, you know, maybe that is the way to circumvent them. Just, oh, look at that, top 90 by the way on the server, not bad. Circumnavigate the issues that they've been having with IP law, with them being called, you know, essentially having their you know, their feet pulled out from under them, because one of the bigger sort of issues that Bleach Soul Resonance has faced is the strike team, right? You know, it's sort of a barren strike team. I shudder to think that the strike team wouldn't be arguably the best or second best character in the game if, you know, we actually got our Grimjaw when he's supposed to. Sorry, I'm yawning. I woke up recently as I'm recording this, and I'm just like, you know, I'm fading, dude. But I shudder to think that, you know, the strike team wouldn't be one of the best in the game. Probably top 3, if not top 2 teams in the game, if I'm honest. With a character like Grimjaw, a character like Soifon, and then Yurtahara rounding at the support role. But obviously, not only were they not allowed to make him a transforming character, which is hilarious to think that Shueisha hates our dogs that much, but with what I imagine is a relatively smaller team, you know, it's like someone made a post earlier, and I don't want to pull them up because, you know, just leave them, you know, all credit to them for the point, but I don't always want to just like show people's like accounts and stuff. I mean, I do the weekly thread answering and stuff like that, but there is sort of like, I don't want to dig up a post that was just sort of made randomly and, you know, throw it up. But they said that the dev team is probably on the smaller side, and because it's on the smaller side, there probably is sort of the overall expectation that there's going to be hiccups along the road. I mean, we've seen this a lot with characters releasing, needing buffs, Kenpachi, Nalel, Soifon at this point, having to make these characters and also having to backtrack on making these characters and make them to the specifications of Shueisha to appease them to even get them in the game. It doesn't surprise me that we do have, on top of a smaller runtime, and 3 weeks for character releases, which is very fast. I mean, I know people were like, oh, you know, we were losing 2 weeks, which means we're going to get a dead week every time. I want you to know that with how these characters are made, not only the modeling, the effects, the voice lines coming through, the actual animations themselves, which are always pretty top notch, like, I mean, just imagine that we haven't even seen Anniversary, Half Anniversary, Okieta, Shunsui, Captain Commander, a bunch of big time characters. We already have characters like Kenpachi, who I think look phenomenal. Great choreography on Kenpachi's abilities for me personally. To think that we haven't seen any of this stuff sort of land, and I'm already pretty impressed regularly by the characters. I mean, it has to be a pretty tough workload. I'd imagine that the rate at which they're working, the rate at which they're getting some of this stuff done is pretty grueling. I don't know that for sure. I don't have any like inside information or anything like that, but it wouldn't surprise me. And if they also have to work around appeasing Shueisha, they also have to work around getting these things in the order that Shueisha wants them. 32 on a server, by the way, for the Freeski, and a top 5 hundo as well globally. That's pretty cool. That's my first gold, so it's pretty cool. I like coming in here when I do these talking head videos because they're, you know, there's something to actually like see. There's something, you know, I might actually get like a big rank, so I go down and check out my 32 there. I mean, I'm surrounded by whales, by the way. Like, the other people are whales, or, you know, they're either whales or they're low spenders, but to place is pretty great. And that's kind of like another point, is like, to place when I'm a free-to-play channel is always very cool. It means that even in a game that's with PvE, with a leaderboard like this, there's still something to sort of strive for. There's still things to attain. You know, gacha and mobile games in general aren't meant to be played for tens of hours a day, every single day, but they in certain instances, the Honkai Star Rails, the Genshins, the Epic Sevens, the, you know, so on and so forth, maybe even the Dragon Ball Legends, since a PvP game, in certain instances you do have these like cherished upsides where, you know, you can stay on the game, you can try things, you can try to fine tune and optimize and everything. And it almost reminds me of playing like a card game or something, where there is sort of like a quote unquote buy-in point, but there is like an ownness to like your ability as well, right? That's like that stuff is great. So I do think that the game has a lot of potential. I don't feel any worse about the game than I did yesterday or the day after or what have you. I am really hyped for the stream because, like I said, the stream contents are always pretty good, I'd say. Like, can anyone really, outside of the like first one or the one after that or something like that, where it was super sketchy and they were obviously working through content creators in China, can anyone really name one that was like nightmarish? I don't think so. It's felt pretty good. So with all that said, and with this just being so much of Bleach to interface with, I mean, I don't know, it feels like the year of Bleach is still going strong. I feel like there's a lot to be excited about. I am going to be like interested in trying out whatever the Japanese owned Mirror's High is. When that game comes around, I might start it out by just being on the monthly or whatever. If they have a monthly, I'm sure they will. Because Japanese gacha games are usually really fucking greedy. I've said it before, but if you are like, oh my god, I need more Jade, I need more everything, you should play Dokkan Battle. In the time it's taken me to get like the currency for another character, like in this game, I've skipped 2 or 3 characters in Dokkan Battle, and I still don't have enough currency to actually pull on the characters to pity. You know what I mean? Like, it is, Japanese gacha games are tough. They are very tough. So it'll be interesting. I am, like I said, excited for that. But in the case of Bleach Soul Resonance, I don't know. It's been a smooth ride. I've had things to do every single day. I've had videos to make every single day. I've had things to talk about and, you know, be interested in every single day. So for me, who is doing this as like a way of, you know, pursuing like a passion, right? It's like, it's not so bad, right? It's not so bad. That said, I don't know. I might be trying out this like Pokemon like monster collecting game sometime today. It should be the same day this goes up. I don't know. It looks a little whack. I don't know about y'all, but it's always so sad when a new game comes out in mobile spaces that are like, that's like interesting. But then you like look at it and it's just like, it's just waifu bait. And I say this all the time. I think like Soifon is really fucking cool. I think Yoruichi is really fucking cool. There's nothing wrong with you being like, that's my girl, that's my waifu. Personally, like, I don't really care. But the amount of times I look at games like that and it's like, the women aren't cool, they're just hot, and it's like, I don't know, man. I come from fighting games where like Chun-Li is a bad bitch, but she's also really fucking cool. So whenever I look at these gacha games, these Endless Zone Zeros and the like, it's just like, yeah, these characters are hot, but they're not really cool, and that's sad. Like, that's always sad. That's always a bummer to me. It's like, I mean, they do it with guy characters all the time too, where I'm just like, who's this like e-boy character? Look at the e-boy characters in like Valorant or something like that, and it's like, these characters are like hot, obviously, but they're not very cool, you know. There are a few exceptions, of course, but yeah, I don't know. So I might be trying out Mongil Hyperdrive or whatever the fuck it's called, but yeah, I don't know. This is not related to Bleach Soul Resonance, so I'm just telling you about my plans like going forward, because, you know, you might see a video pop up about it in the future and it'll just be me like giving it a go. But yeah, this run is going pretty well, but I'm gonna end it here because I don't want to just like yap over this for a million years. This is mostly just you know, visual something to have on while I'm yapping about my plans. Yeah. We'll see. The Bleach Soul Resonance stream, I'm excited. Pure point, like blank period, I'm excited. But I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta eat some food. I'm hungry. I just woke up. I'm dying. You know. Like, if you like the video, subscribe to the club, we'll go make it, and peace.